Welcome back to Pitch to Power. Today's guest is Rohit Toshniwal, the co-founder of Sprih, a sustainability intelligence platform helping companies track carbon emissions and make smarter environmental decisions. Before Sprih, Rohit co-founded Arkin Networks, which was later acquired by VMware in a deal over $100 million. And across multiple ventures, he's built companies at the intersection of innovation, technology, and global impact. Today we'll talk about the journey behind building successful companies, navigating risk, learning through failure, and what it takes to start over after success.
Hi,
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 Rohit.
Sia. Glad at least we are able to speak again now.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
How's everything going, Sia?
Obviously, first, I want to start off with I know you built a successful technology company and you built, what was it, a company before Sprint, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So, why did you decide to focus on sustainability with Sprint?
got it. So see, the Spree thing was an interesting one. So this is my fourth startup now, second as a co-founder. And previously, all my companies were in internet infrastructure, building data center, etc. And after I exited from Spree, I mean, we had sold Spree to a Fortune 500 company, and we continued to build it. And but after like 5 years, when it became very large and successful, that's a time when you start looking again as to what you want to do with the rest of your career and time, kind of
Yeah.
it. And I think somewhere inside there was always a passion for sustainability and climate, even though I never trained for it. And also, COVID had already happened, and when you see things like that, and you say you have got maybe another decade or two kind of energy left, and
Mhm.
I felt I wanted to work on something which was very mission oriented as a next thing, and probably that is how Spree got started. So from a pure data center company, which was very successful, then thinking where I want to use my time and energy, and sustainability and climate felt like something which I was very passionate about. Never worked on it, and I felt it's a great
Yeah.
opportunity and time to do it. So that's how I got there.
And that's great. Like you tried something new, you just thought it would work and it worked out great. So, it worked in your favor, it went well. Um,
Uh, I, I'd say, I mean, it was less thinking about the outcome
mhm.
and more thinking about starting from scratch and
Yeah.
really giving an effort, making an effort towards it. So yeah, yes, no, 4 years later, I mean, things have been very exciting. I have, of course, learned a lot, and I continue to be very driven by the goal and the mission that we have set for
Mhm.
ourselves. And I'm seeing that as a company, we are making some tangible difference towards this goal. So
Yeah.
yeah, it keeps me very excited.
Got it. And on that note, you said like you've gone through building these companies and selling them. So what's a lesson from that experience you learned and you applied that lesson into building Sprit?
So, I mean, of course, when you're an entrepreneurial journey, you learn a lot. I mean, because kind of the buck stops at you, and you have to handle just about everything that can happen, right? I
Mhm.
mean, there are people, but whenever anything breaks or anything like that, you have to think about it. You have to constantly continue to think about other aspects of keeping the company afloat, looking at the vision, mission kind of it. You, in some ways you're responsible for just about anything that can happen over there, right from the product to and customers to what to build and all of that. So you learn a lot in the process, but I've also realized that every time you learn, and but when you start from scratch, I mean, you are really starting from scratch. Some of the things apply and some
Yeah.
of the things don't. In fact, one of the biggest challenge that I felt and the learning that have been for me is been not to try to apply the same things that worked earlier. All right. It's not necessary that context is different.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot has changed kind of it. So that part of getting back to first principles, looking at the challenges and opportunities from that lens becomes very, very important. So I'll say that's been something. And of course, a lot of things that you've learned during the process, um, whether it's about teams, whether it is about customers, whether it's about product, a lot of those learnings also come in. And also because you have gone through the journey once, you know that the journey will have a lot of ambiguity, things cannot be planned. So the next time onwards, when things don't really go by plans, I think you are a little better prepared to sort of expecting, yes,
Mhm.
these things happen and you have to handle as they come. You cannot plan way too much, or you cannot plan your journey. So you have to handle a lot of things as they happen.
Got it. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, what's something that you believed about success when you were 25 years old that you probably disagree with today? You know, with all your experience from building the companies, being a co-founder.
Uh, that's a very interesting question, and I'm very curious how you came up with. I think your definition of success continues to change. I mean, when
Okay.
you're 15, when you're 20, when you're 25, and soon I'll be 50, right? So I think that keeps on changing, and it's a very natural progression. I mean, your worldview changes, your aspirations changes, and so yeah, I think over the course of these four startups, second one as a co-founder now, one thing that has stayed constant and probably become more important is the importance of relationship and people that you work with, that you interact with, that cross your journey throughout, and really valuing them. I think that has become, uh, I probably valued it always, but it has become even more and more important. So that's one thing. The thing that has changed now is earlier at 25, probably I will put too much focus on every single outcome, right? This was supposed to happen this month,
Mhm.
this was supposed to happen this quarter. But as you grow, you realize, and like referring to my earlier comment, I think you expect and you better handle the ambiguities. And therefore, your response to you when things fail or when things don't go to the plan change with respect to that. So while at 25-year-old, for me, success might mean every next meeting resulting in a win or a great opportunity or a great innovation. I think I've become more patient, and my view has become broader. It's about the
Mhm.
larger goal and not necessarily the exact path that you will be treading to get there.
Makes sense. And let's say that someone who's my age, 17, comes up to you and says, "Hey, with all your knowledge, what's one thing you think I can start doing at my age to really get into this business environment?" What do you think you would tell them?
Again, on that, for example, I truly appreciate the fact that at such a young age, you are even doing this, right? Speaking to entrepreneurs and everything. So this aspect of going out and exploring, trying different things, getting out of your comfort zone, just doing things, in my opinion, is something that I'll say, don't hold yourself back, try it out, give it a shot. Yes, there are more well-tread paths, but in the current world, even that's not the case, right? So previously it was more like, oh, you do XYZ, go to a great college, and you're all set. And later you realize it's not that. All of these things really sort of take care of your worst case scenario. The best case scenario really is your attitude and what you do with your time and the energy kind of it. So the one thing I'll say, it's a fast changing world, which in some sense becomes great opportunity for young people like you, because the models that have worked earlier might not work as is, the patterns that worked earlier
Yeah,
might not work as is. So in some ways, people with more sort of experience does not necessarily have higher advantage over here, and it
yeah,
becomes more play field. So just doing things, and I tend to put more focus on doing here because I see a lot of people who become theoretical experts. They would have read every single blog, every single book, and they might be able to speak about all the jargon, etc. But unless you go through the journey, I think you don't really get an appreciation or a feel for it. So going out and doing things, in my opinion, is very important.
Mm-hmm.
The other part is failing. I
Wow.
I think failures early on are great. They teach you so much.
Yeah.
So not being sort of really taking these failures at heart. The more you try, the more the chances of failure are.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as reasonable percentage of your actions result in success. I mean, even the top players I was reading somewhere, they are only right maybe like 54% of the time. So it's almost close to half half. Like as long as a little over half your times your decisions play out well, you become very successful. What is more important is how long are you able to do this? So that becomes crucial. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing I will say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Thank you. And on the note, what's one failure you think you've had in your career, but you were able to overcome it? It was just like a hardship.
Again, I think when you probably start reaching 50, you start becoming more philosophical, I think. I think there are a lot of setbacks that come in your entrepreneurial journey. There are people who might leave. There are product decisions that you take that do not pan out the way you want. There are customers where the situations change or leadership changes happen. And when you're doing capital raise or when you're working on M&As, I mean, a lot of these
Yeah.
things happen, which probably at that time feels like a big setback, but they teach you. I mean, they make you better when dealing with people and situations like this. You become a little bit more understanding of how the world operates. I mean, uh, till the things really till you reach the milestone you have not got there. So all of these things make you, I might say, a little bit more wiser about these
Mhm.
situations. But yeah, that's there. But when I look back at most of these things, they just feel like a blip. I mean, yes, things happen, um, but you move on
Mhm.
as long as your intent is right. You take care of your stakeholders, whether it's customers, whether your team members, whether your investors, and you at every point in time you continue to do the right thing in at that point in time in the with the information you have and the context you have. I think that's it. And
Mhm.
as long as you continue to enjoy the journey, remain very passionate. One thing that remains unchanged is probably persistence and hard work. I think that cannot be substituted, that you need to continue to do
Yeah.
that. But yeah, all else is good.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And from starting your first startup and now you're in Sprih, you started Sprih, how do you think your perspective has changed over time? You were just,
I think as this might be a repeat of what I said earlier on how the journey is
yeah.
in. I think things that matter to you, what success looks like to you, that continues to change, and therefore your aspirations also change. Um, Compared to Arkin, it was a data center company, and we were, I think, very maniacally focused on certain outcomes, like certain problems which were in the data center, and we wanted to solve that, and we felt it's going to be a big market and very monetizable, etc. kind of it. Yes, we ended up helping a lot of customers solving great problems, but I think we were very driven by the technicality of the problem and the business opportunity that it might have. Whereas this time onwards, we are more driven by the mission right
Yeah.
over here, that is the right thing. And in some ways we are saying you continue to do right thing, and the monetization would happen. So in some ways it is inverted this time onward, and I think it's a very natural progression on how you view success, what you want to do in life,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like some people can have the goal to become rich or to be able to help the people with their solution, it's different goals. That makes sense.
Yes, yes. That's there, but few things remain common. No,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I appreciate and but yeah, very, very interested in getting a peek on how you have been thinking. And good luck with your entire application process.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for making time to meet with me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, no worries, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.